Welcome back to the For-All PAWDcast. Time now to talk to Kip Koelsch. Kip and I probably go back, can you remember those days, Kip, way back when we were talking about Pasco County and bringing an event to the
Yeah,
Little Everglades Ranch? You remember that?
I do remember that, Eric, back when I worked for Ironman,
Yeah.
World Triathlon Corporation. Yeah.
Those were some interesting times in trying to bring events to Pasco County. But that's a different world. We're here to talk about
Right.
animal care and your
And we're both
book.
in completely different places right now, right?
Yeah, we are all for the betterment of the animals in our care here in the Tampa Bay area. So
Absolutely.
Kip is an award-winning writer with two techno thrillers, Wendall's Lullaby and Delphys Rising. Kip, welcome to the For-All PAWDcast. Please share a little bit about these novels that anyone can get on Amazon, because you're now the second or possibly third novelist and author that we've had here on the program.
Sure.
Whether they're talking about techno thrillers or thrillers like in the form of Stranger Things or time travel, but they
Right.
all somehow have relations to animals, whether they're marine animals or they're have four legs and they walk around the house.
Yeah, amazingly, my novels all have to do with the marine environment. The first two, Wendell's Lullaby and Delphys Rising, both deal a lot with dolphins and whales, cetaceans. I was sort of a wannabe marine biologist growing up. I was raised on National Geographic and the Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau. So that was, a big part of my formation of what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I wanted to be a marine biologist for the longest period of time. And when I got to college, that changed, mainly because I struggled a little bit with the higher math and decided to get a degree in journalism and mass media instead. So that certainly helped me with my writing in the future. I did some volunteer work at Mote Marine Lab in Sarasota when I lived down that way. So some of the information in especially Wendell's Lullaby is from very much firsthand experience, being a part of their marine mammal volunteer program, rescuing and holding dolphins, and just being a part of that whole wonderful situation that they have down there.
Kip, earlier we were talking with Paul Guzzo from the Tampa Bay Times about Colonel Tom Parker and connections, and that was always in the back of my head. It was always the front man was Elvis Presley. And talking to you, you brought up another name in this conversation, is Jacques Cousteau. I can remember being a little kid and watching him on network television.
Oh, yeah.
How long was he on network television? Because his show used to attract people of, all ages and all types to watch his adventures.
Yeah, I know the first movies he was making, the Silent World, I want to say, was either the late 50s or early 60s. Eventually he pitched, the primetime show, I think it was to ABC. And he had to be on TV, at least in some respect, on a regular basis through the late 70s. And then I think it turned into more of a period, every once in a while thing. But just a huge influence on a lot of people who were interested in the marine environment, and towards his later years, much more focused on, environmental protection and protection of the oceans in general.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say, definitely those themes, my books definitely have an undercurrent of, environmental protection and conservation within the themes of the work themselves.
Are all your books connected?
The first, they are in a way. The first two, so Wendell's Lullaby takes place at a specific period of time. Delphys Rising takes some of the same characters from that book, and it's basically a leap 10 years into their future. So some of the people have dropped out of the story. Some other characters have been added in. My two other books that I actually have out now are part of a science fiction series that takes place in a universe where instead of having space between planets, it's water, and whales are out in space and dolphins are in space, and it's definitely a bigger leap than the thrillers that I've written.
Well, I find them, fascinating, and that you take the time. Earlier with Paul, I should have asked him how long does it take him to write his article. How long does it take you? I'm always fascinated by the answer from an author to put one of these together.
Yeah, the first book, the Wendall's Lullaby, I started writing about 2007, and had it about 98% complete by about 2010. Had some changes in my life take place, and I set it aside for a while. And I had actually shopped it around to agents and some publishers, and had a little bit of interest, but nobody who really took it on. So I set it aside. In 2017, I revisited it, and self-publishing had changed a lot in 10 years. So I was able to get it finished and self-publish it. And I think to actually write the follow-up, Delphys Rising, it took me about a year and a half. And a big part of that is doing research, obviously, for these types of books, because they're science thrillers. There's a lot of fact-based information in there, as well as creative fiction from my mind.
So I know that you also have some cats at home. Any
Yes.
chance in the future that
I'm even wearing my cat dad shirt today.
Any chance that you start going from, because I know that you love marine animals.
Mhm.
Any chance that you start adding in more about cats and dogs and write about that with future projects that you may
Sure.
have?
Yeah, I actually have one short story that's actually out there on Amazon. It's called Forever Sleep, and it's a little bit of a sort of dystopian future sci-fi story. It does have one of my cats in it. One of the ones that I had in the past, his name is Harpo, and I actually have a tattoo of him on my arm. He was my boy, and so he's memorialized a little bit in that short story. It's a sad short story, to warn people, both for the human character and the cat character. But I'd like to be able to include. I've got some stories started, stored in files on my computer that have had some cats in them as well, and some cat-based stories. But for some reason, the larger stories at this point in time still are sort of marine-based, marine animal-based.
So how do we get copies of these if folks are interested? I know Amazon gives you great reviews.
Yep, Amazon. Everything I have right now is available on Amazon, or you can. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can message me through those, and I actually have paperback copies. If people wanted to have paperback copies of books that they want signed, I can sign them, and I can ship them to them myself.
And they have Kindle versions as well.
Yes,
is Kindle
Kindle
still a
version,
thing?
everything's in Kindle as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, is Kindle still a thing?
The majority of the books I sell are still Kindle. Amazingly. I still like to have the real books in my hand, but
right, yeah.
Still probably, I would say almost 80% of the books I sell, especially through Amazon, are for Kindle.
Yeah, I'm just like you, Kip. I like having the physical book. My son, we're getting ready to go on vacation, and we'll probably buy a couple of books. My son will buy a couple of books on his own, and he'll read them in the car ride,
right?
Or by the time we come back. And for me, I'm a very casual reader. That's why I like to have the physical book. But he is a physical book reader as well.
Right.
Anything you can tell us about your cats right now that you have? I don't think they're going to make a guest appearance.
Yeah, I don't know whether anybody's going to come in and visit or not. I had Loli here earlier. So we've got 4 cats now. They're all rescues. 2 came from the Humane Society in Pinellas County on the same day. We went in looking and asked for their hardest luck case, and we ended up getting Daryl, he's a big orange cat, and he's our shy boy. And at the same time, we got Loli, or we call her Loli Grace, and she's a Flame Point Siamese. She had only been there, gosh, she'd only been in the enclosure for about overnight, and she came up and put her paws on my jeans, looked up at me with blue eyes, and that was it. She's our oh, here she comes. My wife's passing. Awesome. This is Loli. Oh, hi, Lo. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
This is Loli Grace.
That's a good looking cat.
A little strange. She sleeps with us just about every night, and she's our she's gonna go now, but she's our therapy cat. She's the one who knows if we're feeling down or had a rough day. She's the one who's always there to comfort us. We've got two other boys. We've got Ketty Vetter, who came from a rescue group over in the eastern part of Hillsborough County, and Hamish, we call him Hamish Wimbish. He is a Turkish van who was, we got him with whatever shelter group works also through Petco. So they're all shelter cats, and they're our children. We don't have any children of our own, so we're crazy cat people because they're our family.
Well, they are. They let you know when we're hungry, and
oh yeah, they're our alarm clock.
Do they each have their own separate personalities, or any of them like to go outside and the other one's just a totally inside cat? Or
we're proponents of having them totally indoor cats. For us, we feel it's the safer option for them, and feel like they'll have a healthier, longer life. So we have when we renovated our home here in Dunedin, we added a lanai, but the lanai is essentially the cat room so that they can have some outdoor experience. It's also their litter room. But they do all have different personalities. Loli is, like I said, she's sort of the nurturer and the mother of the group, and the mother for us sometimes. And Hamish is the most cat-like. He's the one who, he's just, a little bit more finicky than the rest. Ketty Vetter, we call him Ketty Chaos sometimes. He's our youngest, and he's the one who dashes around the house and instigates with everybody else. And then he'll flop down like this wet noodle on the cat tree and just go sort of limp. And Daryl, like I said, he's our hard luck case. He's, there's only certain situations where I can even really pet him, just because for some reason he had the year or two that he was out on his own before he was left at the shelter, supposedly in a wet cardboard box on the stoop in the rain, is what they told us. And so he's fairly shy. It's a challenge for us to kind of corral him for when we need to take him to his regular vet visits.
Well, it sounds like they're in great hands with you and your wife, and they're definitely being kept cool since they're inside, because our final segment here on the show is having our one of our veterinarians, Dr. Shees, talking about heat exhaustion with pets, and Camille and our behavioral specialist, Stephanie, has one of our dogs, Kiko, to talk about how to do some fun things to keep the animals cool. That's for the dogs mainly, and I'm pretty sure some cats that go outside.
Yeah.
Because, man, it is hot around here.
And, it always surprises me because, they have a cat door to the lanai, and they love to go out there even when it's hot. They'll lay on the cool concrete and come back in, but they still feel like they've been out in, 90 or 91 degrees. For some reason, they still like to be out there for part of the day.
But they know when to come back inside.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're like, we're done.
When they hear the food dish or the treats.
Anything else to add about your works on Amazon and anything on the horizon?
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of finishing up the third book in my science fiction trilogy, which is, like I said, it's based in an alternate universe. That's sort of an ocean universe. Hopefully I'll have that out before the end of the summer. Still a lot of work to do, but getting there slowly. And looking forward to, when I'm done with that, writing some more short stories, which will hopefully allow me to do a little bit more work on some of the cat stories that I've started.
That is awesome. Well, folks, we'll have links on our social media for Kip and for the earlier story. I know our staff put those up there for Paul Guzzo and his story at Tampa Bay Times. And Kip, I know you were backstage listening to that interview. I don't know. I guess you could hear everything. Are you going to see the Elvis movie?
What's that?
You're going to see the Elvis movie?
Yeah, seeing it this afternoon. So I'll give my rating later.
Awesome. They
Thanks
love
so
those.
Much, Eric.
No, thank you, Kip, and best of luck. And I'm pretty sure sometimes our paths do cross when he's out on the Dunedin Causeway in the water, but I keep it on the causeway on the trail. Thank you, Kip.
I see you running by every once in a while.
There you go. I'm just I don't run as fast as I used to.
Well, you're still a blur compared to me. So,
all right, buddy. Thank you very much.